Make sure we're live over here. There we are. Okay, cool. All right. Welcome to episode 642 of the Black Brain Trust. This is Black Fatherhood Talk. We're going to talk a little estate planning. First, I do want to give condolences and rest in peace to a friend of mine. Just found out this morning he passed away. This is a brother who was one half of a phenomenal LA-based rap group known worldwide. This is my brother, Double K of People Under the Stairs. And yeah, I got the text message from the homies this morning, man, that he passed away at the age of 43. We were the same age. So I do want to start out just by honoring him, because I think this is actually very relatable to the discussion we're going to have about estate planning. So give me just a second here.
Cause you're listening to the sounds of the P-Funk Band. Ain't nothing new in what we do, cause we doing it all just for you. I said you stop your feet and clap your hands, cause you're listening to the sounds of the show shop band. Ain't nothing new in what we do, cause we doing it all just for you. I'm so glad you're here. I want my peoples in the front, my peoples in the rear. Till they go with your troubles. Grab a chair and cool out. Turn up the stereo, light up the blunt and crack the Guinness style. Yeah, but it rhymed and I'ma keep going, flowing like the river, little nigga. Since 1987, I've been putting in work like a single mother serving suckers and making them jerks. Big fluid when I do it, everybody say go. The cut creator of the hood and already a pro. Smoking up the background to slam like Big Show. A band Bigelow to party down with the hoes until the crack of dawn. And don't nobody dare yawn. What up to Sanchez and the little homie Ron? Right now, we on some wine life, violin tight. Make the beats late night so they come out and act right. And put a kick in your eardrum that you should expect. Nothing but the fly shit when we rockin' your set. Damn right, this last one and Double K one time. They back with a cool one, so let's do one. You get it? I'm like with it when it comes to being hip. Hang out with old dudes that's rude and talk shit. Close down on your rookies like your lady that bedtime. Next time you wanna rhyme, throw this in the rewind and realize of the dope shit being given. It's a privilege like your left turn. Heard you heard? Now I'ma chill with my blunt and Guinness. Let the track speak to all the stupid ass people undermining the street. Yeah, I know what that was. When I say street, I mean real. The people under the gangster steps serving you thrill. Family beat, horns with an age limit of like 38 and older. For old dudes who pull dames with game like a peachy folder. For 40 holders, twist, tap, and drop the cap when you feel it. Nah, sober sounds better on sort of a sweater wearing groove. Got you feeling the jazz and make you wanna move on to the next brew. About to crack a new 32 shout, going to my crew and especially Andre, Brandon, Paul, Anthony, Mike, give me who can't stand new music. Rather bump the JVs and stay ill. Changing that's pushing rocks up a hill. Stupid sissy. Ayo, chill, smoking BDs, hanging out the windowsill, watching the moon, writing rhymes, making beats, waking up at noon, digging up old tunes. That's a life for me, and chilling with my best friend whose name is NPC. So Mike, please see if my track is going to tape. I got about 1,000,000 rhymes that I don't know their fate. So one way or another, brother, I promise they'll get heard. This is just a second LP, you can count on a third. And that's all I got. Before I go, I gotta give a shout to you, yo, Juan Carlos Satino, Remy Miguel, and Greñas, mi primos. I'ma end this with an Ola. I'm out drinking all the Inca Colas with rum. So get in the streets and act up. Says right here, people under the stairs set rhymes to stun. Oh man, baby, don't trip. The record's not over, man. All you gotta do is flip.
Gone too soon, man. Yeah, man. So once again, man, rest in peace to the homie. Ah, rough. Johnny Blaze, you there, man?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Good morning.
How's it going, brother?
Morning, your end.
Yeah, right. Morning for me, noon for you.
Yes.
Are we good on the sound here?
Sounds good, man.
All right, man. I gotta like switch it up. I need something a little more mellow. I swear, man. Nerves been raw all morning, bro. All morning. But, you know, I think that's the reason why we got to talk a little bit about estate planning. Because we don't know, man. You know, we don't know. You know, we don't know what's in store, right? The only thing we could do is plan ahead, right? And especially if we have children, then it's imperative that we make sure that we're setting things up in such a way that actually accommodates them and accommodates everything that goes along with having children, having a home, you know, having family, investments, things of that sort, right? You know, we'll typically do these types of things, let's just say like independently. Through our job, we get the 401k, all that kind of stuff, what have you. You know, but then there's, you know, setting yourself up with an estate, right? Now, when I say an estate, it's very vague. That's why I don't really have a PowerPoint or anything like that. What we're actually going to do is we're just going to touch on a few points. I would say there's going to be, let me pull up the list that I had here. And maybe if people want to write some things down here, because essentially what we're just looking at is the actual formation of the entity itself, right? The actual estate itself, which can be a few different types of entities. We'll go over a couple. And like I said, this is where, because Johnny Ways, we are not certified financial planners.
Oh no, we're not.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna make sure I preface all of this. I am not telling you what to do. I'm basically gonna give you what an estate should be comprised of, right? Now, you'll go about the method on doing that, and then that's where I would say a certified financial planner, an estate planner, someone like that is where you would then consult, because you're going to say, hey, like one of the questions they'll ask you is like, okay, do you have any, you know, stocks? Do you have this? Do you have property? Do you have, right? And then they'll then look at what might be the best vehicle right, to establish your estate in. So this is where we're just going to give a broad outline as to what an estate is comprised of. You can maybe jot some notes down, and then that's where I would say getting with a certified financial planner or um, an estate planner would be key, because then you'll have like more direct questions to ask them. So we good on that, Johnny? Is that a good disclaimer?
No, that's that's pretty good. And I think as we get deeper into it, we can talk about our own personal experiences and just some of the things that we that we learned along the way.
Right, because you know what, some of this is going to overlap with the one we did about single fathers, where you broke down like insurance and everything.
Yep.
Some of this is going to overlap. That was the other reason why it kind of took me a little bit to put the outline together, because when I was kind of like writing stuff down, I was like, well, we kind of covered this, but actually what we'll do is we'll kind of cover how it actually patches together.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing we want to talk about here is basically the estate formation itself, right? So we're talking about like something like a C corp, a limited liability company, depending on what you're doing, a limited liability partnership, depending on who you're doing it with, right? There's a number of vehicles where you could kind of house everything up under, right? So like I said, what I'm not going to do is tell you what to do. Now, for myself and my wife, what we did was we had a C corp. Now this is just me talking. This is not no certified financial planner stuff here, right? And then under that, and I'll break down how the other points are going to factor in things like bank accounts, insurance, investments, and your will. Your will. I forgot to put that, Johnny Blaze.
Yes, got to have a will.
Yeah, that was the last point I meant to put on there. I forgot to put it, but your will. Okay.
Or some kind of power of attorney.
Power of attorney, will. Well, the will will denote your power of attorney, right? It'll say to whom that your will is going to basically determine who goes what, who's your trustee, right? Let's say you have minors.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the trustee, right, to oversee their inheritance, things like that, right? That's all going to be outlined in your will.
Yeah.
However, so we're talking about the structure, just the estate formation itself, right? So there's any number of entities that you could use. The reason why we're talking about using an entity, okay, so you yourself, just as an individual, okay, you can only represent yourself. If you have an entity through which everything is housed, then there's an entirely different tax structure that everything functions under. Okay, there's a whole different venue in which things are going to be accounted for, right? And each one of these different entities has different, let's just say advantages and disadvantages, right? Tax benefits or otherwise. Each one is different. This is why I'm saying you're going to have to consult, but I'm just giving you the general idea of how this is put together here. Okay, but we're looking at things like tax benefits primarily. Also, depending on the type of entity, if you have property, for example, okay, in certain instances, there's property tax deductions, and there's other advantages depending on what type of assets you have. This is why I'm saying what we have to do is say, okay, for my estate, these are the assets that I have or I plan to have. And so based on this asset list, that'll be the first question that I have for my certified financial planner, my CFP, or my estate planner. What type of entity should I set up if my estate's going to be comprised of this? Okay, so that's where we start. Johnny Blaze, did you want to go ahead and chime in on that?
So, I mean, as you're actually talking, I'm actually writing some of this stuff down.
You're right.
Hey, yes, I am.
You're like, actually, I'm over here taking notes myself.
Taking those myself, because looking at it now, one of the things is I would say is figure out what your assets are. Number one, figure out everything that you have. Let's say look at the house, vehicles, bank account. Okay, let's number one. Let's figure out what all do you have, and kind of go from there. And how's it going to be? I don't want to say I was going to say the word distributed or kind of given out if you're not around. But it's also if these things are not paid for, that's going to be the key to figure out. Okay, what do I have? What do I have left to pay on it, and how much is it going to cost to do all that kind of stuff?
Right.
So
okay. Yeah. So now the first point was going to be relatively basic, right? We're looking at what type of entity we're going to create, right? There's various types, and what we want to do is analyze based on what our state is going to be comprised of. Okay, what type of entity, right? So that's going to be the first question that you consult with your financial advisor, your financial planner, or your estate planner. This is what I plan to do. I plan to have assets heavy in digital currency and technology. I plan to, I have a bunch of land that I'm inheriting. My grandparents left me a few houses, Okay.
So,
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
When you say estate, type of estate entity, can you give some examples?
Wait, you said say that again?
So you mentioned you need to know what type of estate entity.
So like a C corp, a LLC, an LLP, an LP. I mean, there's various types depending. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be really dependent upon what you're doing. Now, let me see here. Professor Blackout, he said wills are easily probated. I lean a little more towards trust. Well, I mean, this is kind of what we're talking about, Professor Black Ops. Like, a trust is a part of all of this. Like, we're going to get to that. This is all a part of estate planning, right? You do want to have a will and testament. You do want to have that. But yeah, since you estate or a trust, that involves, how you're passing things on and keeping it within the vehicle that was created. That's really what we're discussing. How you keep that in line and pass it on. But to answer your question, Johnny Blaze, there's various entities, and really it's just going to be a matter of like what your estate holdings are going to be comprised of. The next point was bank accounts. Okay, so we have the entity set up, right? Okay, so essentially what you have is a corporation. Whatever entity you decided to go with, you've incorporated. Okay, that's what you just did. You just incorporated. So now what you're doing is you're running a business. And so with this business, we now need to talk about things like bank accounts and insurance and stuff like that, right? So, but let's look at an estate as a business, right? It's essentially the business of running your family. Okay. So when we talk about bank accounts, maybe what we're doing is we're establishing we're establishing accounts for different things. And we're doing it for tax reasons, right? Why? Because we're actually doing this through a registered company. Okay. So now we're talking about maybe creating different accounts to handle different expenses. One, right? So that for ledger purposes, because again, this is a business, right? Taxes are going to be filed on all this stuff completely different. So, and again, I'm just giving you a general overview. Talk to a certified financial planner. Okay. But we're talking about, so for example, like You know, all of like you know, home expenses, right? Utilities, you know, home insurance, uh, you know, mortgage, all that type of stuff, vehicle expenses coming out of one account, right? Then you have like your spending account just for general items, right? See, so different types of purchases have different types of, you know, either tax deductions or whatever. And again, this is something your financial planner will outline in detail. However, just giving you a general, because you're running your family, you're running your home like a business. Okay. There's also the actual bank accounts for the individuals in your family. Now, one thing that people oftentimes don't realize is that if 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 someone is listed in your business as an employee and they're paid, I think it's 12.5 thousand dollars per year or more. Okay, they are essentially a taxable employee. Okay, see, so if you set up like an account, a bank account for your kid, and you're putting basically like a salary. You give your child a salary, you put the money into their account, right? It's on the ledger as you're making you're paying an employee, quote unquote. Okay, so but all you're really doing is just appropriating money into an account for a dependent, right? That you then file taxes on, that you have insurance on. Again, I am not giving you the skinny or the scoop. I'm just giving you a general view of how, like running your family within an estate structure works. If you ever wondered how it was that, like, say, like for example, royal families get down, pretty much it's kind of like this.
I'm actually taking a note on that one right there. I'm going to ask the financial planner on that.
Yeah. Now, did you want to put in on the part about bank accounts? And
so now that's one of the things I did for my daughter after her mom had passed. I made an account for her when she was like 13.
Yeah.
So and I did it as a kid's account. Now I will tell people this: when your child does reach 18, those accounts, they transfer to adult accounts. They're no longer child accounts.
Yes.
So you have active control over a child account, but once that child becomes 18, you no longer have active control. So this is one thing that you definitely need to know when you are dealing with children accounts.
Yeah, but I think if we're doing this early on, right? If we're doing this early on, then what we're doing is we're teaching responsible spending, budgeting, right? There's something that goes in line with all of this, because to run things in like this, to manage your home structure like in an estate type of setting, it does take a different type of discipline, right? You're kind of living and structuring your life and home a bit different. Right. But the advantages in doing it this way, because I'm going to touch on the next point here, far outpace the way it's traditionally done. Go ahead.
Now, I will say, and this is for anyone who has a special needs child, because that's where I kind of come in, is understand when you're dealing with the special needs child, you definitely have to make extra concessions to set up a lot of like long-term stuff for them.
Shit. Hey, Johnny, you're borging a little bit.
Okay. How's that?
Okay. Go ahead. You got it.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, like when it comes to a special needs child, you definitely have to set up a lot of, there are a lot more things in place. Like for me, I've got to definitely set up, bank accounts for them. I've got to set up insurance and other factors as well to make sure that they understand how this stuff works. And God forbid, if I'm gone, they'll still be able to utilize their money the proper way.
Yeah. Now, one other point I wanted to make too is that given that, and now this is sort of like, I guess you can say, the next level to sort of leveraging uh, uh, an estate as a corporate entity, right? So now what we're also talking about doing is there's a bank account for the estate itself as well. Okay, and with that account, what we're doing is we're established it's incorporated, so it's a company. So what we're also doing is we're also setting up a corresponding Duns and Bradstreet number. Okay, this is very important. We're also okay. I, Let me take that back because I'm giving you financial advice. This is what I did. Talk to your financial planner about it. I gotta. Okay, let me take that back. This is what I did. Talk to your financial planner about it, but I think it's a good idea. Duns and Bradstreet number, because essentially that's like kind of like a corporate credit account. Okay, and that allows your estate to build corporate credit by doing like doing strategic purchases through you know let's say like your estate banking account, right? And then those purchases, let's just say like if you had like a net 30 on a purchase and you paid it off in like 20-25 days, and that they report to Dun and Bradstreet, hey, this company's good, they paid their stuff off early. Dun and Bradstreet reports your corporate credit, and there's a whole thing to that. But talk to your financial planner. I'm just saying that's a good thing to have. It's a good thing to have. So along with the banking aspect of it, what you want to have various accounts for, you also want to maybe consider, I'm going to get my wordage right, consider that Duns and Brad number as well. Anything else on that, Johnny?
No, I think you hit it, man.
Okay. And because I guess we'll just kind of go through the points here, and then you want to drop the link and then just kind of have a discussion for people who want to come up.
Hey, sure.
Okay. All right, we'll do that.
Okay.
All right. So let's see here. Insurance. Okay. So we talked about insurance on the Single Fatherhood live stream, right?
Yeah.
So it's this point is really kind of more of a rehash, right? Because you talked about basically insuring pretty much everything already, right? So it kind of falls in line with this. It's insuring everything. Also, you got to throw life insurance into that as well, right? Life insurance policies that also take into account, any and all dependents that you have under your estate, or dependents that you may be putting into your trust, as inheritors. So let's say you got nieces and nephews that you might want to leave things to, right? You may also want to add them, on the life insurance policy as beneficiaries as well, if they're also going to be inheritors, or if you're going to keep them within that line of the estate succession. You may also want to keep the insurance benefits going to the same people that are inheriting, right? But it's a mindset though, right? Because again, even from early on, what we're doing is we're grooming them, right? Responsible budgeting. When you raise children in this sort of environment, I think what they do is they take on a greater sense of self-importance, right? Because the family structure is operating in such a way that that insists that what we're doing is something that is of importance. This is why we do it this way. And I think that gets ingrained early on. If you started early,
Yeah.
So, I think that's why it's important that we start looking at family building, much like how royal families do. Because they feel they intrinsically have things to protect, right?
Right. And I think one thing when it comes to insurance, particularly life insurance,
Mhm.
we really need to look at it like it's a wealth building vehicle.
Yes.
It's the thing that's going to set the next generation up to go forward. Um, particularly now. Here's one of the things when it comes to insurance, and one thing that we do not control is how it's utilized
Right.
after you're gone. Now, and I'm not sure if that can be set into any kind of like will and testament. Hopefully, it can. Where
Yeah,
these,
in certain aspects you can.
yeah,
Certain aspects, certain regards, right? Especially if there is a trustee
yes,
who essentially is, and that's the thing, is to always have a trustee, like like myself, my brother, a couple of friends in our circle. We are actually each other's trustees,
right,
right? I mean, because there's a word in there, trust, right?
right.
And these are dudes that I grew up with, like, and to this day we're like brothers, right? So there's a bond, there's trust there, where we would only do what's right for each other. So a lot of us are actually, third party trustees on each other's
Yeah.
estates. Yeah.
Hey, in the chat, Neon Eye, she has a good comment there. How to protect the child's assets should something happen to the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Some families are full of
Full of
vultures.
vultures. Yeah. Well, that's how you do it, Neon Eyes, and I can give you well, yeah, somewhat relatable. See, because the reality was that when my wife passed away, there was a thought that I wouldn't be able to take care of my daughter, right? Because because men are fragile or some shit like that. And I'm just sitting there like, well, who the hell do you think took care of her and his wife this whole time? Single-handedly tried to save his wife's life while raising his daughter, right? I had plenty of time to, prepare my mind. Let's just say, as much as I hated to ponder that thought. I mean, shit, dude. My nerves are still raw from me just losing my homie today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine like the thought of imagine the thought of potentially losing your wife after the both of you just had your first child together, right? Both of us were childless. This was our first child. So we're both sitting there like, wow, for us to be having our first, like, this is what we're faced with. Now, what helped in that was kind of how we had things established and set up. Now, just as an aside, so what we did was our marriage, our union it wasn't state sanctioned. It was done within this estate here, like within this estate structure, and this is how we chose to do it. That's why I'm saying, look, this can be done a multitude of ways, right? So you need to consult with someone who is certified. Okay, for us, this is how we did it. We incorporated. We created a holding company, right? That which basically was combined. It was a company that was comprised of both of our last names, essentially, which is what my daughter has. Her last name is her name and my name hyphenated, right? So it symbolically it just kind of represented a union. Okay, and but because of certain things, like there were certain things that I wasn't liable for when she passed. For example, her student loan debt. Okay, because we weren't tied together on from a state from a state sanctioned marriage level, because we weren't tied together there, which would have made me liable for her debts. But we understood we weren't really trying. If we're going to create something new, what we want to do is we're going to create something new and kind of keep whatever old debts we have out of the new thing. You get what I mean? We don't want to create something new and then bring some bullshit into it. So we went about it differently. So when she passed away, all I had to do was just fax her death certificate, and they were like, "Okay, we're our sincerest condolences, and we'll take care of it." And that was that. Okay. So see, the thing about it is this, and I'm glad we're having this conversation, Johnny, because the reality is that what we're talking about is for people who are emotionally mature and beyond the social media thing that's happening, right? The i.e. quote unquote gender war thing. Okay. What we're talking about here takes this takes a blending of two parties to wholesale invest into a single entity. Not this isn't for everybody.
No, glad you said that last part, because obviously you see the results of this when you see a lot of folks out here when there's a death in the family and these GoFundMe start for funerals. When you see someone who now needs money to pay off their house because the breadwinner is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things that, smart adults are actually going to do once the infatuation period is over and all that rah, 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 kissy, kissy. This is what's really important, is this right here, because this is the
Right.
long-term planning.
Right.
You got to prepare for yourself, for your children, and hopefully for your grandchildren.
Yeah, I mean, and Neon, what Neon Eyes is saying, she's saying, she went through went through shit, with the family after her parents passed.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, look, man, look, there was a plan to try and take my daughter from me, and the only way that what halted that was that will and that will and trust.
Wow.
Okay, because number one, right, my wife basically said, I will sole custody me.
Right.
Okay. So unless I go and commit a crime, right, that requires jail time, she's mine.
Yeah.
Okay. She's mine. That's my child. Right.
I saw this thing go down when my grandmother died on my dad's side, and man, the family came in there like vultures. All these aunts and cousins. Well, I didn't really know all that well. They were older.
Yeah.
I was like maybe 20 years old when my grandmother passed, and my dad, he wanted to rent out his mom's house. Well, apparently my dad's cousin had the power of attorney. Basically, it left my father kind of like just. Now, granted, my father did a lot of messed up stuff, but his heart was in the right place. But unfortunately, hey, he wasn't financially savvy. His cousin came in, took charge. They sold the house and pretty much pushed him to the side.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, because there is this money involved, man, with death, unfortunately, and it brings, sometimes death can bring out some of the ugliest aspects of humans. I swear to God.
Man, when I was there, I was living in Texas, so I flew home for the funeral, and the family, they were just going through picking the house clean.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to just We Kill Dragons trust. Yeah, like We Kill Dragons. This is what we're talking about. Estates are comprised of trust, right? Or creating a trust in an estate. It's kind of like interwoven, right? This is what we're talking about. We're talking about a way to protect what it is that you have for generational wealth, right? This is what we're talking about. We're not splitting hairs between it. We're being just very general, because this conversation as a topic is never had, right? This is why what I keep saying is talk to a certified financial planner. That you're saying any credible wealth manager will tell you this. Of course, this is why we keep saying talk to a certified financial planner. Yes. So I don't want you to get the idea that we're shitting on trust. No, we're just giving an outline for estate planning. Okay. But like you said, any credible wealth manager will tell you that a trust provides protections. What do you think we're talking about with the insurance and banking accounts and having the correct entity? What have I been saying? Talk to a certified financial planner, right? They will set it up. But a lot of people are not even familiar with the concept, we got to give you the concept, right? We got to give people the concept and talk about the benefits of it, just conceptually. I'm not gonna, because I'm not a certified financial planner, so I'm not gonna tell people exactly what to do. I didn't say it to be discouraged. I meant that. Oh, okay, just making sure, dude. Because what I don't want is, I don't want there to be an implication that I'm telling people to do something. So I appreciate the clarification. I just want to, yeah, I just want to make sure, We Kill Dragons, that you're not disagreeing with me because I'm insisting people do something. I'm not. Talk to a certified financial planner, but I got you. We're good. Okay, my bad, Johnny. You got it?
Yeah, it's all good, man. And I see Mark Swift, they're talking about the different types of insurance, term
Yeah.
versus life.
Now,
I
right.
can't tell you which one. You got to look at your own situation. And once again, talk to a certified financial planner,
Mm-hmm.
and you get the one that works best for you in your situation.
Right.
But I think what we are saying is to have life insurance. I think
Yes.
that's the goal.
Yeah, but I think having the right type of policy, though, is where we can really leverage, unfortunate incidences and stuff like that, where we really do maximize on what it is that insurance policies can do for us, right? So that's another key thing we want to look at. We want to look at how it is that we can leverage insurance.
Yeah.
I think we covered the will and so, like I said, the will and testament part, that, and the trust. That part really just outlines how assets are passed on or moved, right, from the person who established it to the inheritor, how things are to be protected, trustee. Okay, all of that stuff. Like I said, my circle, my group of friends, we're each other's trustees. We're all third party trustees on each other's shit, and we largely, right? Hey, man, look, sometimes chicks try and scheme on some shit. So hey, look, the homies like, hey, man, look, we got each other's back, right? So at the end of the day, they try to pull some bull. You gotta get the homie to co-sign on that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's a no-go. So that's another little tip for some of you cats out there that might be listening, man. And you and your partners, man, if y'all really serious about getting out here and moving and shaking in the world, and y'all decide to incorporate up and shit, y'all need to really form like business, like all your estates, like you and your homies, if y'all form estates, y'all need to be fucking with each other on some business shit. Look, okay, I'm just telling you what me and the homies do. You get your Duns and Bradstreets, you get all that shit set up, and y'all just do business with each other, and then y'all just report, and you just build each other's business credit up that way. All y'all doing is just fucking with each other, like on the business shit. Yeah, let me buy that from you. Boop, 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 boop. All right, yeah, you pay me $50-$60. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and report this to Duns. Yo, he paid this. He's good, right? Like, a lot of business circles do this type of stuff to build up business credit like quickly, right? They got like a group of people, and that's how they do things, man. And you're able to like build up and move quickly if you rock with a group like that. So I'm not a certified financial planner, just telling you what me and the homies do, right? So the last part, stocks, companies, real estate. So basically your investments, man. You're housing your investments up under your company. So like if your investments are under a certain type of company, again, your assets may fall under different type of tax brackets, and may have different types of protections versus if you just own it yourself. Okay. Any companies that your estate owns may have some different tax advantages, right? Because it's a company that owns a company versus you who owns a company. It's not you, it's your estate that owns companies. So it's a company that owns companies. So things work a little different with that relationship. Again, talk to your certified financial planner about this, but these are the advantages of, say, doing business yourself versus creating your estate, and then your estate does everything for you. Because the estate has different advantages that you as an individual don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're looking at doing, is we're looking to leverage things that have more, let's just say, abilities, right, as a different type of entity than we do as individuals. Okay, so it's a quicker, I don't want to say quicker, greater path, but it's a path that allows you to do more. You can do far more with that type of structure with a family. Because again, if your family is all set up within that, like I said, the bank accounts, insurance, look, I went on Ramil's live stream. This was a while ago, man. I don't know, maybe like a year ago, right? And I was kind of telling him, well, look, if you do choose to get married, I would say do it the incorporated union way, the way I did it. I said, and I was saying, look, if you do it this way, it's kind of hard to justify having to pay child support if you and your lady were to split, because you pay your kid a salary. You know, I'm like, the judge is going to be like, okay, well, you're already paying it. You get what I mean? You know, your kid gets paid a salary like 12, 15 grand a year. What are you paying child support for? What do you, huh? I mean, you think about it, the salary that you pay your kid is equal to or probably greater than the order that you would get to pay child support for a kid. Think about it. The only difference is that in this scenario, by doing this, number one, there's tax advantages to literally just putting money into your child's account. Teach them proper budgeting. That money stacks up. It's a whole different way to think about this stuff. And again, you have a person that you're doing this type of stuff with. There's a lot of investing that's gone in on both parties. More than likely, probably not thinking to split that type of shit up or fuck it up. I hope so. Any women that are listening out there, if you're bothering to do something like this, like, I hope your minds are right. This is some butter laid shit here, right? This ain't gender war Pookie and Ray Ray talk. This is for people who understand the importance of wealth creation, generational wealth, family building, you know, longevity, you know, that good shit. If you're not about that, this talk ain't for you. I'm sorry. Life is precious. You saw what we just started this talk out on, right?
Yeah. Hey man, you got Jesse Vale 3 in the comment. He's never heard of a corporate union. He wants to know, can you go a little bit more into detail on that one?
It's basically just a non-state sanctioned marriage. That's all it is. What a marriage? Okay, so state sanctioned marriage, it's a contract. Okay. If you go into business with somebody, you're essentially you're contracting together. So there's going to be a charter, right, that outlines the nature of that union between two parties, right? So in lieu of doing it that way, you could just go to the state and they'll just give you a license. Take your pick.
So this corporate union, is there any special, I guess, entity that you have to go to see about doing that?
No, because when you create an estate, you can create it with another person.
So you just
that person does not have to be, quote unquote, state sanctioned married to you.
Okay.
It's like dude, like me and you, we just went into business.
Right.
50-50 partners and we form a company, right?
Okay.
Same thing. The same thing. You can buy property with a person that's not your spouse.
Yes.
Right? You can start a company with a person that's not your spouse, and then also buy property with said person who's not your spouse. You could start other companies with said person that's not your spouse under the company that you started with said person that's not your spouse. You can buy other companies and put it under the company that you started with a person that's not your spouse. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can do all these things.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Now,
the thing is the conversation of incorporated unions, okay, or people, what they say is, okay, so here's what they say. When they say non-state sanctioned marriage, right? Okay. So what happens is people go, okay, so if that's not you getting a state license from the state, then what is that? And what they don't know is what it is in lieu of the typical idea of what they know as marriage. Okay, but marriage is essentially a contract, right?
right. I'm trying to lay out what the pros and cons are for each version. Yeah,
Well,
that's
like, so I gave it a perfect example. So given that what we had was an incorporated union, I personally wasn't liable for my wife's student loans when she
right.
passed away.
A great pro.
There you go. That's one advantage.
Right.
I wasn't liable for her student loan debts. Or let's just say our estate wasn't liable for it.
So let me ask this question then. So if someone were to pass, would you then be, let's say, eligible for like their Social Security benefits?
Yeah, my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're my daughter.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's certain things. If you do it a certain way, then you're not really
actually do that. Was like,
and like I said, I go and talk to a certified financial planner. I'm giving you my own personal experience based on what it was that we had set up, but that was us. So I would say, yes, please talk to a certified financial planner.
Absolutely.
Okay, but the reality was that when my wife passed away, it was a phone call and a fax. That was it.
So I know, like when my wife passed away, I had to kind of jump through some hoops. Now, granted, now luckily for us, we had pretty much most of her, like her student loan debt. We had paid that off. Her vehicle was paid off already. So the only thing we had really was the house, and I think she owned like one other little small thing. I did have to go to probate court to get something transferred into my name that was only on her.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, as long as you got like your stuff together, they'll go ahead and hand that over to you. Yeah, with luckily for us, man, shit, man. I see. What we were trying to do was literally kind of live, maximize on what you could do with a corporate entity, right? You wanted to maximize on that, but live relatively minimalist. Okay. Can you hear that, John? Can you hear that?
I had a music in the background.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, hey, this is one of those groups you got this brother, Alphamist, pianist,
Okay.
jazz. I'm gonna send you some Alphamist. This brother's nice, man. Oh, by the way, y'all, we're gonna be doing, myself, Johnny Blaze, and Art New Style. We're gonna be doing like a jazz and fusion live stream here. We're aficionados.
I was gonna say one thing when it comes to this whole estate planning and insurance and all that. Make sure your spouse and the people you trust know where this information is located.
I mean, so when ideally when you're putting your will and testament, when you're putting all that stuff together, what you're doing is you're contacting people to like I forgot what it's called, but basically it's a list of people that are going to be in first contact.
Yeah.
Right. And ideally what you're doing is these are the people that your trustee are contacting. Right. Yeah. Your trustee is going to be contacting these people directly to say, hey, look, so this is what, Johnny Blaze had here. So there's going to be some forms that are going to come your way, or it'll be an attorney that'll send it. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the stuff that you personally have to really put forth. Let's see. I think we covered all the points, man, because this really it's not like a huge item, like list of items, right? it's just really just, I guess you can say, proper. How can we phrase this? Um,
Just planning.
proper. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's not even complicate it, right? Okay. Hey, let's do this, Johnny. I'm gonna step away and go to the little boys' room, check on my baby cakes.
Same here.
All right. I'm gonna drop the link for those who want to come on. We can chop it up for a little bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. And we'll be right back.
All right.
Okay. Yo, Johnny Blaze, you there?
Just got back, man.
Okay. Let me see. Mr. Imp.
Yes, hello. How are you?
Good, man. Welcome. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm actually in the process of trying to get this house put in my name.
Hey, you have a bit of background noise. A little hard to hear you, but you said you're in the process of. Say that again.
I am in the process of getting the house put in my name. It was my mother's.
Got you. Okay, so you're inheriting some property.
Correct. And, I might have to get the heater changed out because this is why he was hearing a bunch of background noise. For some odd reason, it keeps going. So.
Okay, got you. Okay. Was there anything on the topic that you wanted to chime in on?
Yes, there was. Now, there's this website, or should I say there's this app called Fundrise. I just recently downloaded the app. Mm-hmm. It's for real estate planning for the future.
Wait, what's it called?
Fundrise.
Wait, because it's kind of choppy there. Fundrise?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, Fundrise. Let me pull that up. Let me check it out. Go ahead. What's it all about?
It's basically what you were talking about with trust planning and real estate planning. It basically helps you plan for the future. Now, the only thing I despise about it is that you would need to have $1,000 to start out as like the bare minimum.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is interesting.
Did you say 5,000 or 1,000?
5,000 looks like. Yeah. 5,000. You see that there?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see here. You know what? This is something I'm going to forward over to Lionel to take a look, because what we want to look at is what do you know what well, let's actually take a look right here. It's right here. Let me see. Long-term balance supplemental. Oh, no. So no. Actually, for this one, the core starts at 1,000. Yeah, it starts at 1,000. Advanced 10,000 minimum. Okay. So they have basically two, and then premium 100,000. Jeez.
This kind of looks like Start Engine.
Kind of. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see if they. Let's see. Yeah. It doesn't really. Let's see. View details. Okay. Let's see if what the supplemental. Let's take a look. Portfolio. Okay. So this portfolio is in construction, right? So yeah, this would be something that would have to be looked into, right? Like which one of these portfolios? Because again, remember we were talking. So if you're building your estate, right? What assets are you heavy in? Okay, if it's like real estate and construction and things like that, maybe this portfolio would be for you. What about this one right here? This is balanced. And so let me see here, portfolio. It looks like maybe all of them are in real estate here. So this fund, oh, okay, yeah. So looking at it, Fund Rise might be a fund that is largely dealing in equity real estate assets, right? So this
Yes,
would,
that is correct.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Got you. Because what we were doing was we were recently covering pharmaceutical and biotech ETFs and things like that. So this would kind of be like the equivalent, but just in commercial real estate, right? So these are things to look at, especially if you're like what you were saying, you already own some actual property, like, right? Maybe part of your estate portfolio also has holdings in something like this, right? And so if your estate is leveraged largely in, like, say, like real estate holdings and things of that sort, there might be a certain type of entity that you'll want to create to house all of that under. But again, these are all going to be conversations to be had with your CFP. Oh, wait a minute. I've been rambling. There's people joining the panel. What's going on, you guys? Jesse, Sir Badai, what's going on?
Greetings. Go on, fellas.
What's going on? What's going on, man? What you
What's
guys
going
got?
on, brothers?
Shoot, it's a great conversation, man. I mean, about the planning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good to see you brothers explain it out for us, like, future, if we decide or if we start a family, whatever. But that's just a choice. But what I like is like, these conversations be like world balance or whatever.
Well, we're trying to, with the whole sort of Black Fatherhood series, Johnny Blaze and myself, man, we're really trying to hit it from an experience standpoint. With a lot of the things that we've had to go through, dealing, especially when you have a partner that passes away,
right?
And how things transfer from that person through you to your child. Mm-hmm. Right. And, that in and of itself, that whole process is an eye opener. Okay. And what it did for me was it opened. Well, let's put it like this, man. Luckily, I was lucky enough to have mentors, man, that kind of like put me up on game on how they did shit. Right. I've said this. Right. I've said this before, man. A lot of my mentors were like, Jewish men. For some reason or another, man, I probably had like 3 older Jewish men that really just schooled me on some shit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so, it's sort of like I can see like how it works for them versus how it works for people who don't do what they do, for example. And I'm not just saying this is all Jewish people that do this shit, but what I'm saying is it's people who live a life where what they do is everything is set up to acquire wealth, right? So in order for you to do that, you have to set things up in such a way that one, do it passively. Okay. You have to have things that do it passively for you. 2, you have to do it in a way where it takes advantage of like tax obligations or lack thereof, right? Because then that means that's more money that you keep, okay, which then gives you the ability to then reinvest. Okay, this is how, like, I was literally just like said mentor. I was just on the phone with him like last week, and this is gonna talking about some things that I'm gonna bring forth in the business summit that we're planning for April and May. Okay. But that same thing that I was just talking to you about, okay, it's the same type of dynamic we were talking about when we're modeling out. So just quick aside. So my mentor and I, we still work together. Okay. What he does is part of what Anti-Gravity and I do in terms of our holdings company, right? So what we do is we're a wholesaler of the technology that they develop at the workshop in LA. Okay, so one item that they've developed is is basically it's a COVID killer. It's a UV scanner. So basically, it's like you seem like when you go through TSA in the airport, right? You got to go through
Yeah,
that thing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
stand there, and it scans you, right? So this is kind of like the same thing, but what it does is it beams a UV ray, and then it basically nukes any germs that are basic on your physical body.
Interesting. Right.
And actually accuracy is like 99.9%. Okay, and we got EPA approval for the device. We're just waiting for the number.
Awesome.
Okay, so that's one. So that's that's one. And my mentor developed this shit. He invented it. Matter of fact, I'll say the other part because that's the actual part that's more relatable, and then I'll actually pull the video up. It's on YouTube, and I'll post it so people can check out what it is. It's a number of devices. There's one where it's a machine you can just stick your hands under it for 4 seconds and then pull your hands out, dude. Anything that's on your hands, dude's gone. Like, dude,
Yeah.
like that's my mentor, man. Like he creates shit like this, and
Oh,
like you
wow.
just got an
Neat.
EPA number for it. Okay.
Awesome. That's good. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. The other thing is a natural gas generator that can be remotely metered and tied into an energy grid, or you can set a series of them up and create an energy grid that could then be remotely metered. So this is some of the technology we're trying to take to Africa, right? But within that, what we were discussing is a financing mechanism leveraging tax deductions to actually fund the acquisition of the generators themselves. So there, the way he was working it out, he was like, okay, well, look, if you do it this way, the amount that you'll get back from the state in taxes will actually pay for the device.
Damn.
Right? So
Yeah.
you basically you create a financing mechanism off of that.
Cool.
See, this type of shit he's taught me. So
Interesting. Yeah. Neat.
yeah, you know what I mean? And so all these concepts could even be leveraged for your own business.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it sure
So,
does. Yeah.
right, because an estate is a business at the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you're in the business of running a family.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly right. Mhm.
So the more savvy you are at running a business, the more savvy you are at creating wealth for your family.
Exactly.
What's going on, LOM? Welcome, brother. How you doing?
What's up, fam? And just listening in. Yeah.
Jesse, did you have anything on it, brother?
Yeah, man, I think this is an excellent topic. From my perspective, a lot of the information that I have received has been from a lot of books that have been written by financial planners, people that deal with wealthy families. And probably one of the books that really changed my whole mindset on not only estate planning in general, but the aspect of running a family like a business was this book called Family Wealth, written by Hughes, which is the author. He actually is employed by wealthy families around the world. And so here's the whole concept of the book deals with estate planning, how to educate your kids. It deals with the three, the financial, the intellectual aspects of the family. And so he goes into estate planning. He goes into having advisors and things of that nature. And like I said, his profession, pretty much, he's employed by several wealthy families around the world these are families that have, that are going on 4, 5, 6, 10 generations of wealth that they've been able to sustain over those generations. So this conversation is definitely much needed, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, I just want to show you guys real quick. I'm gonna keep. Let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna keep the music going. Let me cut the volume here, but I'm gonna just play the video so you guys can check it out. Let me pull my phone up real quick. Let me show you what I was. Oh, really, dude? My battery went dead? Oh shit. All right. So here, let me just do this. I'm gonna share my screen, and then I'm gonna do this. Okay. You guys see this right here?
I see it.
Yeah.
This okay. You see this purple tower right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to. I'm gonna play the video. I don't have the audio on, but I'll post a link to it. But I want you to check it out.
That's awesome.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're this is some of the things that we actually are trying to get into. See, there you go. There's a hand zapper.
That's good because if you get into that, then you won't need a vaccine.
Dude, listen. Look at that. Sterilize your mask.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is for so here's what we were thinking, right? So for example, you want to open restaurants back up, put one of these at the door.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Grocery stores,
Yep.
schools.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Like
So
electronics places. Yeah.
That's our workshop right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it uses UVC light.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys.
Yes, that's exactly what it looks like a decontamination walkthrough for like a Star Trek or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me post it. I'm gonna post a link so people can check it out.
Yeah, like when they have to do like they call it a terminal clean.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you staff, they'll come in there and they'll clean up. Then they'll use one of those lights to kind of go behind.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Like I said, that's my mentor, dude, who created that shit.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. So if you guys want
That's
one,
neat.
hit me up. If you want one, literally, hit me up. I'll get you. I'll get you one. Shit. And see, and that's not to digress, right? But see, I look at it as like people like us. These are the kind of solutions we have to bring to the forefront, right? Because what we're usually doing is we're always like reactionary and we're not proactive. Right?
Exactly.
So like something like this, dude, that just nukes shit on site.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hysteria with vaccines and shit? Why not just get these things put up everywhere?
Exactly.
And it
man.
just starts nuking this shit off of people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, there's so many simple solutions to shit.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee that the vaccine's going to work anyway, man. It's just, I would actually prefer to have that.
But you know what will work, LOM?
Yeah.
If you fucking nuke it with some UVC light.
Damn straight, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that is a great and creative solution. The only issue comes in is the pharmaceutical guys wanting to make money and
undermines their profit margins.
The EPA already issued a number to us. Too late.
Good.
Too late.
Good.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's not. The whole thing is this. It's not a medical device.
Exactly. It's not.
It's not a medical device. Right. Okay. So it's not. That's the thing. It's not under the jurisdiction of. So here's what you have to do. Essentially, what you do is you apply for the same type of license you apply for if you were a company that makes a fucking bug zapper.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a certain type of EPA license that you need to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's a similar license because all you're doing is you're using light. That's all you're using. You're just using light, dude. It's a certain spectrum. That's all it is. but it's light. So, you know,
How much?
It's called creative thinking, man. Yeah.
And that's what we need, man. We need more of that and less panicking and more less
No,
hysteria,
seriously, man.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like to do like bullshit conversations. We don't like to do bullshit conversations on this channel because we know good and goddamn well, man. There's solutions. It's just a matter of implementation. That's really what it boils down to.
Exactly right.
Yeah. You know, like the whole point of doing the whole estate planning live stream was one is to really discuss the practical methods of how you actually set up generational wealth. Like you have a whole shit ton of people who scream about it,
Exactly.
but like, okay, the one way I know that you actually have gone about practicing it is that you set things up to ensure that it happens.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, your actions reflect your character. I mean, your actions will always speak louder.
Yeah, otherwise, it's just talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So we figured, you know, let's actually talk about the actions that one needs to take to ensure that what we're doing is that we're ensuring generational wealth.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of wealth and money, I actually got a link to this free CDL and forklift training. The classes start on March the 8th. It's through Southwest Solutions. I'm gonna post in the.
Can you post it, dude? Can you post it?
All right, hold on.
Please do.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Blaze, Mr. Imp, you guys got anything on the convo?
Currently, no. I'm just listening in. Well, I am trying to actually become an owner operator myself. I keep failing on the combination of but not on the general knowledge.
I mean,
you said you're trying to become like an owner operator, like trucking.
Yeah.
Trucking company, yes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I'm actually trying to become an owner operator myself. Like I haul plumbing materials.
Man, you guys. I mean, are you guys rocking with an MOT, Man of Tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I speak to him too, and
I mean, he's your go-to on that. That's your go-to.
I mean, because there's a lot of money to be made. Just hauling materials, hauling plumbing materials, and even warehousing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, salute to Man of Tomorrow. That's your go-to when it comes to CDL, trucking, the whole thing. MOT is your go-to.
No, I'm here, man. I'm just kind of still looking at that UV device. Hey, we got the device. Hey, we got the
wait. We have an echo. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. All right, everybody, let's do a sound check. Wait. You still have an echo. Okay, wait. All right, sound check, everybody.
Johnny Blaze sounding off.
Everyone sounding off.
Yo, signing out.
Well, we got echo. Okay, hold on. All right, let's try it again.
All right, Johnny Blaze sounding off.
Mr. Imp.
Yo, signing out.
Okay, no, you're good. No echo. LOM.
LOM signing off.
Sir Abadayu.
Signing off.
Jesse.
Sounding off.
All right, no echo. We good. The hack works.
It works.
All right. Okay.
No,
David John said great stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, that device that you put up there, man. I'm really looking at that thing. I'm still the whole UV device. Now, my only question is, I know how UV works. It's just the airborne component. That's the only issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think what like, you know, when I talk to my mentor, and I'm gonna try to drag his ass onto a live stream one of these days, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, you hear me and this dude talk. He's an older Iranian Jewish guy. Like, okay, like let's say he's Sephardim from Iran. Okay, Like this, like
Sephardic?
see,
Okay.
yeah, he doesn't have. I'm like a son to him because he only has daughters. Okay,
Oh wow.
so I ended up
Wow.
kind of being like the son that became the sponge. You know what I mean? So he could just dump all
Yeah.
this shit on me, and I was like willing,
Yeah,
right?
information, yeah. It's
So
like
like you hear me and him talk, bro, it's like you guys are gonna trip out. But no, this is like even do some years after our shop shut down, this is what we do, right?
Mhm.
And so what that's for, okay, because what you can't do is you can't address the outer atmosphere. Okay. What you can do is address the inner atmospheres, like within a container or a enclosed environment. Okay. So what you can do is anybody that's outside going into something, you step through that, whatever you had on the outside, when you go inside, it just got nuked.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. So what we can't do is address the outer atmosphere. Okay.
Mhm.
But what we can do is address what goes inside via one of these devices. Now, I just want to make one last point. Now, what happens there is that the more people that basically just have their outer exterior nuked of this shit, the more you start to reduce how how many people are actually carrying it. Think about it. If 99.9% of it gets nuked going into an establishment, and everybody that's gone into the establishment has had the shit nuked, okay, you have a relatively sterile environment inside, right? So now a person goes back outside, but let's say they leave there and then they go and check out a movie or something, right? So we went to dinner and we left there and we went back outside, but then we went to a movie there, but we just nuked the shit going into it. You get what I mean?
Okay.
Mhm.
Right. So these are ways to use technology to directly address like society's needs. We can use technology to still, like get a sense of normalcy going, right? So again, if you just anytime you're going into a public venue, if you're walking through something that's killing everything, little critter crawlies that are on your person going into an establishment, then guess what? Everybody that went in there had that happen. So everybody that's in there doesn't have any little COVID things on them. So we're greatly reducing it and minimizing, the contact portion of it. And so that's where technology can come into play. I don't think the single answer is vaccines. That's bullshit.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
It is, man. Just the more sinister plan. It just goes through it, man.
And let me just salute to David Johnson. He said, "What's the Cash App?" Hey, bro, this channel ain't monetized, man. You know what? Just share this shit, bro, and hit us with a like, man. We appreciate you, man.
Exactly.
That's all we need. Give us your input. We value that. I think we kind of digressed a little bit from estate planning, but but no, it was just yeah. Anyway, yeah. Anything else? Because here's the thing, I have another live stream scheduled. We're gonna talk Afrofuturism.
Yeah. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm trying to think if there's anything we did not. Like I said, there really wasn't so much we could really go into. We were just trying to give an outline or an overview, and then say, hey, look, maybe jot down some notes, contact certified financial planner, then really get a firm grasp of how it is you want to establish your estate.
Yeah.
And from there, that should take you a long way. But we need to really just start adopting the concept of thinking in terms of our estate, not just, oh, I'm a high value man, I'm just out here, or I'm a high value chick,
You're high value, but you broke off your ass. That makes sense.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man, having an estate is proof that you're fucking high value.
Hell yeah.
Who wants to debate me on that shit? Okay. If you got an estate, that's some high value shit. That means you got something worth putting into a goddamn estate. I mean, look, you can show them prove high value, bro.
Yeah, that's the only as far as the
fuck. It has nothing to do with fucking LinkedIn. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the only issue I had with the Kevin Samuels.
No. Wait, we don't say the KS. We say 7 granules, and let's not really bring because we don't want the algorithm. I'm being real with you, Jesse. If you don't say the term like that, it doesn't trip the algorithm. Okay, so if you say 7 granules, it sounds like the word that you just said, but it doesn't trip the algorithm, right? Yeah. But let's also not really critique him because that's not what I'm not doing that.
Right. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not more so
what I'm saying has nothing to do with 7 granules. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's make sure we're not. We're not. Yeah.
Because that term's been around for a long time, but I would say that it was just recently, within the last year or so, introduced to the Black lexicon as far as YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah. But I was just saying, like, I mean, I don't have a problem with it, how it's used and the definitions and stuff like that, except for the aspect that was missing in terms of net worth and, you know, your estate and stuff like that. Because it was more of a, I felt like it was more of an income based and, you know,
it's what it is. It's a social media. Look, as defined for the social media conversation, it's a social media construct. That's why I was like, look, let's not go down that slippery slope, right?
Well,
because here's what it is. There's a social media construct in terms of the social media conversation, right? And then there's what we're talking about, which is actual estate planning, right? And when you actually estate plan, you're doing this because you have things of value that you're trying to pass on, right? It's not a conversation. It's not a conversation to be had about quote unquote high value. The mere fact that you have an estate and that estate houses things means that you have something of value. We're not. We're having a totally different conversation, right? That's why I'm like, okay, let's not go down that slippery slope because what he talks about there literally does not relate to estate planning. Estate planning is a strategy. It's a strategy. It's not a social media conversation. It is a strategy. That's why I'm like, dude, let's please let's not do that because the last thing I want is a whole I don't even want to say that name. You know, there was a scenario with a guy. So there's a guy who said something about a guy, and then a guy who then did a live stream about a guy and he roasted him, and then, you know, kind of maybe doxed him in the process. And I want to stay all the way the fuck away from that shit.
Exactly. Because you'll get all the response videos built on this.
Because that was never even the intent of this live stream to begin with. So that's what I mean, dude. I just really want to stay the whole fuck away from there. Right. Yeah. So let's do this. It's 11 o'clock my time.
12:05 my time.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some.
Yes, it's 2.
I'm gonna get some lunch together for my daughter. I'm gonna go run an errand or 2. I have the Afrofuturism live stream scheduled. I don't know why the hell. Okay,
it's at night, ain't it?
Well, no, yeah, I have it scheduled for 7, but that was yesterday.
Yeah, it's 10 on my time schedule. Yeah.
But no, I'm not gonna do it that time because I'm gonna do a Sapio live stream like later.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna just basically kind of get lunch together, and then I'll fire up the Afrofuturism live stream at, let's do 1 p.m. my time. So like in 2 hours. Because I just want to get lunch together and stuff. We're just kind of chilling for the day. I took care of a lot of stuff yesterday. So that was why, live streams didn't happen yesterday. But let's do this. Let's get some final words. And then, I'm going to go and handle some stuff. And then we'll fire back up here in a bit. Johnny Blaze.
Hey, once again, man, glad we're doing this. I hope everybody learned a little something from this. Please get with a financial planner and sit down with your families, kind of plan this stuff out, whether you're married, you're single, you have children. Just really look at this thing honestly and try to set your family up for some kind of generational wealth. And thank you.
Mr. Imp.
I am currently restudying the general knowledge test on CDL prep, and I need to study the combination so I can get the 80% to 100% pass in Michigan. So
Yeah, combination. Yeah. Are you going? Quick question. Are you going for all your endorsements or just the combinations?
just the combinations right now. The endorsements is going to be a whole nother ballpark.
Okay, because yeah, I have my hazmat and tanker endorsements. I just need to get my TWIC card so I can haul foreign or domestic goods and go to the harbors. But yeah, good luck, man. Keep going.
Yeah, that'll work because I'm going to be going
Yeah.
international when I have enough fun.
Yeah, do your thing. Yeah, do your thing, brother. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. LOM.
I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, anything that you can pass down to your kids, any kind of generational wealth or any kind of estate you have, keep going. More power to you. It's better to do this than to just sit with your thumb up your ass online and talk about high value this, high value that, when you should be out there getting the resources to be high value. I'm all for it. Keep going.
All right, Sir Obadiah, what you got on it, brother?
Great stream. And it's just basically this is what we need to do to be assertive, try to get to those levels. And this is like what financial planning is like, especially you get your financial plan, talked about this stuff like when your family dies or whatever, safety or children, this is like the way forward.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, wait,
That's all I
Carla.
gotta say.
Yeah, Carla, you're on. I don't know if you want your camera on, but I've brought you up on. Okay, wait, she dropped off. Maybe she'll come back up. I don't know if she knew her camera was on, so I'll give her a minute. Maybe she wants to come back up. Jesse, what you got on it, brother?
Okay, so estate planning is a crucial element to your overall wealth building strategy. You guys did a great job kind of breaking down in general the aspect and the strategy that is estate planning. But not only, to the viewers, the brothers that's listening, don't just listen to it and take notes. Make sure you're taking action on these things. Do your research, buy some books, set up some appointments with some financial planners,
yes,
and some estate planning lawyers and things of that nature. Like, really, this is very crucial because it's something that you're not only trying to preserve the wealth that you accumulate over your lifetime, but you're making sure that wealth is passed down to your heirs. So yeah, just take action, guys. Don't just soak in the information. Be action oriented and really start putting these things into your life.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. You catalog everything and then you find an action plan. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I had posted a link. I know Carla saw her. She came up. I don't know if she wants to come back up. But my daughter literally just walked in and she's like, "I'm hungry." So, Carla, I don't know. We're gonna go live again in about 2 hours. I just need to feed my baby, and while I'm at it, I might go get some more weed. sorry, I'm just being real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll spark back up here in about 2 hours. Man, I gotta appreciate. I gotta shout out Johnny Blaze, my co-host for the Black Fatherhood Talks. I'm not the main host. We're co-hosts. We host these together. This was actually his idea for this series of talks. So I gotta give a salute and a big shout out to Johnny Blaze. And once again, I want to just give a rest in peace to the homie Double K, aka Big Mike. Rest in power, brother. You're gone too soon, man. We're gonna go ahead and shut down, and we'll check y'all out here in a bit. Peace.
All right. Peace, fam.